American craft brewing industry, run by small and independent craft breweries, contributes more than $67 billion to the U.S. economy. More than $3 billion comes from right here in Florida, which ranks among the top 5 states with the largest economic impact.
And from the homestead farmlands to the suburbs of Palm Beach County, South Florida is on tap as an emerging market in this booming beer business. CBS 4 anchor Rick Fulbaum spoke to South Florida Business Journal's Deborah Lima about the trend, which is today's cover story for the Journal.
Let's just get it out of the way first for people that might not know what microbrews are. What are they?
Okay, so microbreweries are businesses that have tons of equipment and they make something called craft beer. So unlike the Coronas and the Miller Lights that you'll find in the supermarket, they use specialty ingredients, are fermented right on the spot, and in many cases they're also sold at tap rooms that are on site alongside the manufacturing part of the business.
And these microbreweries have become popular around the country and lately here in South Florida too, and they've been popping up in some unlikely neighborhoods. Like where?
Exactly. So from Homestead all the way up to Jupiter, there are 36 microbreweries to my knowledge, and you can find them in industrial areas in suburbs of Broward, like Oakland Park. You can find them far, far away from Delray Beach in areas that typically would have warehouses where nothing like the social gathering that happens at a microbrewery would usually be found.
Who are the people that are craving these craft beers rather than just going to the supermarket and getting a 6-pack? I mean, this is a special kind of person, right? Yeah,
that's definitely true. It's a bit more expensive than regular beer, so they find that your usual craft beer drinker is young, typically in the 25 to 31-year-old age, typically male and educated and fairly wealthy. But they're finding that that's changing a lot now that craft beer is becoming more ubiquitous, and that's definitely becoming more diverse now that a place like South Florida is getting into the scene.
And let's talk about the entrepreneurs. Who are the people that are starting these businesses?
They're also young, definitely. Skews male, but there are also women in it. And a lot of them actually started in this business during, or rather after, the recession. Some people found themselves kind of underemployed or unemployed entirely. And through their passion for beer and craft beer, they started brewing at home or like as a hobby, and then went into the business.
All right, so obviously different states around the country have different regulations and rules when it comes to the sale of alcohol, when it comes to starting a business, all of those things. Is Florida sort of friendly to these entrepreneurs that want to open up these microbreweries?
In a general sense, I would say that Florida is definitely friendly, but it's more delayed in its progress to welcome this new kind of business. Because it's manufacturing and then also retail restaurant, they don't yet have a set of regulations that actually helps to govern those businesses. So there are a lot of hoops to jump through if you want to start a microbrewery in South Florida.
So in spite of the complexity, in spite of the hoops that these entrepreneurs have to jump through in order to sort of do everything on the up and up, they're not dissuaded. They're optimistic. What did they tell you?
They all tell me that they are so excited about the fact that this industry is going the way that it has been in South Florida, and that people seem to really be catching on to this. And because there's so much passion to starting a business in the first place, and then jumping through those hoops in this particular one, it seems like there's a lot of reason to be optimistic about this industry.
And you also found that these microbreweries, they help the communities. They help other businesses in these communities where they open. How so?
Yeah, so they will open in, like I said, an industrial area, and those places used to be taken up by manufacturing businesses that maybe don't exist in the U.S. anymore. And so they're bringing all this really great foot traffic that ends up feeding into other places that end up opening up. They're seen as like an anchor tenant, and then they're a big selling point for brokers that are trying to fill spaces.
How much craft beer did you have to drink while you were writing this piece? Come on.
Reporter never tells.
Be honest. Deborah Lima is with South Florida Business Journal. Thanks so much. It was nice to meet you.
Thanks for having me.
Great story.
Well, this reporter will tell you that I've been to craft breweries here in town. They're a lot of fun. They're a great atmosphere, and they make a good product.
So many reasons to love beer.
Yeah, perfect for a Friday night. Right?
I could use one right now. CBS 4 News.